interesting about identity and
low
giving
prep, high engagement for all students.
told
And
people their
Theresa
graduation rates
is
of their
a
Latinos.
teacher at Miller North, where she sponsors the Spanish Honorary Society, and she's also the state director for all Spanish Honorary Society activities. So, thank you.
All right, this is good. I feel like this is going to go really fast, so buckle up. Okay. So, how many of you have heard of MovieTalk before? Wonderful. How many of you have done a MovieTalk with your students? Okay, awesome. I love that, actually. I feel like MovieTalk is kind of one of the new buzz things to do, and sometimes it seems like it's a little overwhelming to do, but hopefully after today you'll maybe give her a shot if you haven't done that yet. It's super simple to implement. It works with a wide variety of students. Pretty much, it's just, we like to watch movies. I think it's more interesting than listening to our teacher talk. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'll go back to that at the beginning if you want to get access to this presentation. There's a lot of material in here that you find very useful and applicable right into your classroom. Okay, so why should I do a MovieTalk in the first place? Okay. Well, first of all, because movies are just, they're very motivating. We've talked today about that it's great to provide the information, it's great to speak in the language, but if the students aren't engaged, then it's all pretty much wasted. So they're very motivating, they're very interesting. We do provide comprehensible input. And students obviously can't acquire language that they're not paying attention to. So we're exposing them to the language, but if they're not engaged in it, then it's pretty much a waste of time. So is MovieTalk for my students? You might teach kindergarten, you might teach college, okay? So it has more to do with the level of proficiency of your students than their age. You could do it at all ages. So first of all, are my students novice to intermediate in their proficiency of the language? Then yes, MovieTalk is perfect for you. Are your students in the advanced category, which would be pretty much beyond most high school students, although that's obviously not necessarily the case, then it's probably not the best choice for you, because you should just be exposing your students to regular speed native speakers. If your students are not just like easily understanding what native speakers are saying at regular speed, then they probably would be a benefit from a MovieTalk. Okay, so what do I do when I do a MovieTalk? So first of all, you select a short clip, very short. I would say 1 to 5 minutes. And when I first heard 1 to 5 minutes, because I've started doing MovieTalks this year, this is the first year that I've ever done a MovieTalk, and I do them about once a week, and I've done them throughout the year. And I've adjusted and done lots of different things with them, so they aren't a boring thing for my students. It's not like, oh, here's another MovieTalk. The movies vary, the clips vary, and also there are a number of ways that you can vary them up and make them interesting. So pick a 1 to 5 minute movie clip. Any longer than that, and it seems like it kind of drags on a little bit. You're going to turn the sound off, which you can make exceptions, I would say, if it's one of those little clips that just has like some nice background music, but there's no dialogue, then I would say go ahead and leave the sound on. Have any of you seen Simon's Cat? Any of those little clips? They're basically made for language learners, and they're just an interesting animation that might have the cat going, and the guy dropping something and it goes, but there's no dialogue. So those would be fine to leave the sounds on because you're providing the language for it. So you're going to pause every 10 seconds or so, so that you can describe what's going on and recap what's going on in the video, because essentially this is a vehicle to make your standing up here giving the target language to your students interesting. Because as we know, sometimes they get a little bored listening to us speak the language so much, and so this kind of makes it a little more interesting. And then finally, you, the teacher, are going to describe the scene and what's happening in the target language. So you are the source of the language for your students for a MovieTalk. Okay. All right, so let's try a little MovieTalk here. This feels so strange doing this in English, so I'm going to go ahead and do that because I know not all of you speak Spanish, or some of you will, and so it will have a different effect on you hearing it just in a language you understand. Okay, so you're going to narrate what's going on. All right. Class, is this in a supermarket?
No.
No, this isn't in a supermarket. There's a lady who walks on the stage? And does she look like a student or a teacher?
A teacher.
Teacher. She's a teacher. And are these students or are these teachers?
Students.
They're students. I'm sorry, I usually can X out of this and this is annoying me. And I don't know why the mouse
It's a
disappeared.
double screen.
It's on this side. There you go. Thanks. Okay. All right, they're students. Are the students listening or are the students talking?
Talking.
The students are talking. Do you think the teacher likes that the students are talking? Or do you think that she doesn't like that the students are
She
talking?
doesn't like it.
She doesn't like that the students are talking. Larissa, do your teachers like it when you talk?
No.
They don't. They want you to listen, right? Okay. So let's see if this teacher, if she likes it. Who thinks she doesn't like it? Raise your hand. She does not like it that they are talking. She whipped that thing. Ooh. And do the students listen or do they keep talking?
They listen.
They listen. The students listen. Okay. So I narrated a little. I paused a lot. You could let it go for a little bit longer and let it pause. I did a little bit of circling. So simple, start off with simple yes, no questions. So these are students. Are these students? Yes or no? Are they students? Yes or no? Are they students or are they dogs?
They're students.
They're students. It sounds so like stupid when we say it in English. In Spanish, we're like, ¿son estudiantes o son perros? No, estudiantes. But when we say it in English, it's like, wow, that was a really dumb thing to say. And then you can get more advanced. So, like, what are they? Students, right? Okay, so they're eventually getting to more advanced. And then personalized questions. So I picked on Larissa there and asked her what she thought about it. And you'd be surprised. You can always relate it back to them. And so then they all of a sudden think, like, yeah, man, my teachers don't like it when I talk. That's kind of crazy. And, all right. Okay. Oh, she has a special announcement class. What do you think the special announcement is? Are the students surprised about the announcement or are they bored?
They're
Bored.
Turn
Well,
to your
some are
partner and
bored.
tell them, bored or surprised? Go.
Mostly bored.
Bored.
Mostly, except for that boy.
All right,
I don't
raise,
know, like-
careful. Raise your hand if your partner thought it was bored. If your partner thought they were bored. Raise your hand if your partner thought they were surprised. Okay, let's see. Let's see what it is. Anybody know what it is?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
See, somebody does know. Don't ruin it. It's a good one. Oh, can you read the title? Whoa! Who is it?
Enrique Iglesias!
Enrique Iglesias! Oh! Who would like to have Enrique Iglesias and Juan Luis Guerra come sing at their school? Who knows who Juan Luis Guerra is? Who knows who Enrique Iglesias is? Right. Okay. And so you can continue on. This is a cute video that has got a backstory of some of the kids in the audience that have little crushes on each other and get in trouble for speaking and pass love notes and stuff. But they probably are going to figure out this is a music video. Sometimes you can find some music videos where they don't know that it is. So then later you get to watch the music. Sometimes it's hard if you're doing something they know is a music video, especially if they've seen it before, because then like, we just want to listen to the music, we just want to listen to the music. So you kind of have to be careful when you choose some of the videos that they might get annoyed at you for stopping it all the time. And one of the things that I've done sometime, and I know Jamie mentioned it before, is that she'll do picture clips. So instead of using a video for it, you could basically do like an advanced kind of picture talk. If you've heard of picture talk, it's basically you're doing one picture, but you could do a series of pictures so that you, instead of having a movie, you are just showing different stages of story. And so it's similar to a movie talk, but basically with just pictures. So you could do that, and then they can't get annoyed at you for pressing pause all the time because there's no pause button. Sorry, guys. All right. So another thing about this that we don't always think about, how can we teach culture, right? We all want our students to know, have an authentic experience learning about different cultures. Choose your movie talk videos, okay? So this is kind of an intriguing picture here. I hate that it has a title there. So they can kind of guess and figure out what's going on. But it's just a very simple little video clip that is actually pretty profound. So, wow, is she wearing fancy clothes or regular clothes, everyday clothes?
Fancy clothes.
They're pretty fancy clothes. What kind of event? Somebody turn to your partner and tell them, what event do you think this is? What's going on?
Quince. It's a wedding.
You guys are too smart. so right. Who thought this kind of looked like a wedding a little bit? Who thought it looked like a wedding? Oh, come on.
I'm
Morgan
lying.
thought it looked kind of like a wedding. All right. And so basically, as you're going, you can just describe and say, oh, is that a guy or is that a girl that's helping her with her shoes? It's a guy. Where do you have the shoes? Where were the shoes? Did you see that? That was sneaky. Watch again. You have to look really close. Where did he get the shoes? Watch really close. Here it comes. Oh, they're in his jacket. Look at, why did he have her shoes in his jacket? Just hold on. Okay. So here he's getting her shoe out of there. Is she surprised?
No.
She's not surprised. She's not surprised that he has her shoes in his jacket. So he's putting her. She doesn't have any shoes on. Do you have shoes on? You have shoes on. I have shoes on. Right? Do you wear dresses that are this fancy and you don't have shoes on?
They might say no because
They would say
because
no.
they go to prom and
At
homecoming
prom,
and they
yes.
take them all off.
All right. Muy bien. And so then as you go, you could talk about, this is her father. This is you could get into some of the deeper, below the surface, not, he's putting this on because it's a tradition and because you can get into the, now this is where he is recognizing that she's a woman now. He's changing her shoes. A lot of times you'll see some of these where they'll have like the flip-flops or the little sandals and they'll take them off and put on the big girl, the high heel shoes. And then you can ask them, are there traditions in your family or do we have traditions in our culture where parents are letting go and recognizing that you have grown up and now you're an adult? Again, I feel like this is more, I feel like maybe I should just do this in Spanish instead of English, but so you can take the personalized questions and you can make this really culturally relevant for your students. So we are going to watch a couple of examples of some really basic movie talk with children and some more advanced movie talk. So this one is by La Maestra Loca. I don't know if you know who La Maestra Loca is, but so these are kindergarteners doing a movie talk. So, and there's no sound. Let's see. Where can I get some sound? I know we play them with the volume off, but we're watching a completed one. So.
We're doing this.
Okay, clase. ¿Él se llama Minnie? Se llama Mickey. ¿Y cómo se llama? Se llama Donald. Muy bien, Jacob. Se llama Donald. ¿Ella se llama Minnie? Se llama Molly. ¿Y yo me llamo Maestra Broussard? Se llama Maestra. Muy bien, excelente. Okay. Donald y Mickey están en St. Martin's o la playa? Están en la playa. Donald y Mickey están o Maestra y Mickey? Donald y Mickey. Maestra no está en la playa. Muy bien. Okay. Uno se llama Mickey, el otro se llama Donald. ¿Sí o no? Sí. Okay. ¿Cómo se llama? Goofy. Se llama Goofy.
Okay, so you can see you can keep it pretty basic, like his name is, her name is, and is in a certain place. And so she was able to use that to teach a specific structure. And then this is Spanish 1. And I think
Muñeca, ¿la puerta está abierta o está cerrada?
Doors open or closed?
Está cerrada.
Closed.
Alma, ¿puede abrir la puerta?
Can she open the door?
No, ¿por qué no?
No.
La puerta está cerrada. La puerta está cerrada. Alma, ¿está en la calle o está en el almacén?
Is Alma in the store
En
or
la
in the
calle.
street?
¿Y quiere entrar a dónde?
She wants to go in
Al almacén. Muy bien.
the store.
De repente,
Suddenly,
la puerta
the
se
door
abre. ¿Qué
opens.
se hace?
What opens?
La puerta. ¿Quién abre la
Who
puerta?
opens the door?
No sé.
No.
¿La muñeca abre la puerta?
The doll opens the door?
No, ¿por qué no?
No, why not?
Es una muñeca. Muy bien. ¿Alma abre la puerta?
No.
¿Quién abre la puerta?
Who opens the door?
No sé. Es un misterio.
I don't know. It's a
Es
mystery.
una puerta mágica.
Okay. So she was circling. This was Spanish 1. This was the first semester of Spanish 1. So you can really do a lot. Just keep it simple. Go back and forth. All right. So we've got an example here. I'll do this in Spanish.
Okay.
How many of you guys speak Spanish? So okay. Well, gosh, most of you guys do. So all right. Well, we'll start out, and then I have another one that you guys are going to try together. So hopefully you have somebody you can talk to. All right. Hay una chica pelirroja, ¿sí? Hay una chica pelirroja, ¿sí? La chica
Sí,
pelirroja.
sí.
No.
Y
Ella.
I
pelirroja,
was confused
sí,
there
sí.
for a bit.
Y ella mira a una chica rubia. ¿La chica rubia es popular o es normal?
Popular.
¿Es popular? ¿Es un poco popular o es muy popular?
Muy
Es muy
popular.
Es muy popular, es popularísima, ¿sí? Es popularísima. Y todos los chicos ponen a la chica en sus hombros, ¿sí?
Sí.
Muy popular. La chica pelirroja quiere estar en los hombros de los hombres. ¿Quiere ser popular?
Sí.
Posiblemente. Oh, mira. ¿Está feliz o está triste?
Feliz.
Sí. Le gusta ser popular.
Sí.
Le gusta mucho ser popular. Quiere ser popular como la chica
Sí.
rubia. Sí. Y, oh, mira. Le da un beso al aire. Le da un beso al aire. ¿Le da un beso a la chica pelirroja?
No.
No le da un beso a la chica pelirroja. ¿Le da un beso al aire?
Sí.
Sí.
Clase. En 1, 2, 3. Den un beso al aire. 1, 2, 3. Un beso al aire. Muy bien. ¿Y tiene amigas o solo amigos?
Amigos.
Tiene amigos. No sé. Posible. ¿Tiene amigas también? Tiene amigas también. ¿Las amigas son populares o no son populares? ¿Qué piensan?
Son populares.
Probablemente son populares también. Y, ¿le gusta a esta chica, la chica popular? ¿La chica popular le gusta
No.
a ella? Probablemente no. Okay, so you get the idea. And then I could say, Jamie, ¿te gusta a la chica popular?
No.
No. ¿A ti no te gusta?
No.
¿A ti te gusta esta chica?
Sí.
A mí también, Jamie. es más real, creo, ¿sí?
Yo
Oh.
soy la chica normal.
Bueno, okay. Alrighty. So narrating, circling a little bit. Have any of you seen this one
Yes.
before? Yeah, that's muy bueno. Here we go, muchas sorpresas. Okay, so go ahead and in your language that you teach. Go ahead and describe. I'll just pause every so often. And when I pause, go ahead and describe. So if you want to just like wait a little bit, go ahead and describe. A little bit.
Hay un chico. El chico está jugando videojuegos. Al chico le gusta jugar los videojuegos.
No es un chico, no es viejo, es joven. Él está enfocado en los videojuegos.
Él está en casa, su mamá llega con un cartón.
Sí, la puerta abre. Hay una madre. That's what my kids are like.
Sí. Do you want to respond like nivel uno?
Well, so even though like my kids are in Spanish 3, they still kind of act like toddlers. Hay una madre. Hay un chico. Hay un videojuego.
Okay.
But eventually they'll say more.
Okay.
We can say whatever we want.
La cortina abre.
El
sol.
chico no quiere ver lo que está en el cartón.
No presta atención al cartón. No le interesa.
La madre exige que abra la caja. I'm just using this as
Mamá
sentence.
quiere que su hijo haga algo más que jugar videojuegos.
Ella está preocupada porque él no quiere abrirla.
A él no le gusta abrir nada, no quiere hacer nada.
Él va a abrir la caja, and I know what's in it.
¿Hay un
This video makes me cry like every time. Have you seen this?
Es un perrito.
Pero no tiene una pierna. Entonces el niño ve que no tiene pierna y no quiere jugar con el perro. Pero hay una razón.
Okay.
Porque el niño no tiene pierna también.
Oh.
No le gusta.
Entonces, el perro es muy activo y ladra.
Los chicos están volviéndose locos en este momento, right? They're like, their kids are like, what is happening? Like, why is he so mean to this dog, right? So, yeah, maybe I should just
Well, you have to play to the end. You can't just pause it there.
I'm just gonna play to the end so you can watch it and see. So
Otherwise,
I won't torture you.
the little boy is a terrible person.
I'm thinking like, wow, he hates this stuff.
Look, it's a ball.
You think he's awesome.
Like you have to watch to the end.
Trata. Está atrapado.
Él es terminado.
No puede salir.
Alright. You wanna see?
Yes.
No. Oh, spoiler alert.
It's a short film, like an
Yeah, it's a short. It's only 4 Alright, so they're always kind of nice when you have a twist to them because it's like the kids are like, what is happening? Like, what's going on? Right? So,
grandma and the cookies waiting in the station?
okay. So I just wanted to share with you. I compiled this. This list of just different materials and resources that I've been using, finding movie talks. There are a number of them that tell you basically what a movie talk is, what are some of the steps. Those were the steps that were pretty consistent across the ones that I had in the presentation. There are some, like specifically that I've done and kind of created some of the script for it and some different lists of vocabulary that were kind of nice to start off with to kind of have them be ready to go with that. And then I've also done something that I just call blind movie talk, which is basically kind of the opposite of a movie talk, where I'm narrating and describing a situation where they are trying to guess what's happening, and then it turns out there actually is a movie, like there is a video clip that they'll get to see after they're finished. So either have them illustrate what's going on, or have them act it out, or have them do different things, and then they'll actually get to see the movie talk themselves. And if you've done a number of movie talks throughout the year, doing a blind movie talk as a review is an excellent way to review and have them hear some more of that language. So have a title of what the movie talks are that we have done throughout the year, and then describe a scene or describe something that was happening, and then they have to guess, oh yeah, that's right, that was whenever, I remember a boy fell down off of his skateboard and, you know, whatever, I remember that was in this movie talk. And you'd be amazed how much they remember from a little 3-minute movie talk that they saw 5 months ago, and you describe one little scene from it and they remember it in the target language. So movie talks are really effective, and I really hope that you guys find a way to, if you haven't tried and dipped your feet yet in the water, that you give it a little bit of a shot. And here are a bunch of resources, like I said, that you can that you are free to copy. So thank you very much.
Well, I noticed you said to turn off the volume, but on some of those, they actually had the volume on.
They did.
Think of that.
Yeah, it just depends on how much you think it's going to distract your students from hearing what you're saying, because essentially the purpose of a movie talk is for you to provide the input, the language input. And so if there's something going on in the background that isn't going to take away from your description, like for example the kindergarten teacher, the maestra loca, whenever she was going to talk in Spanish, she always paused the video so they didn't hear it. My students, if I had the sound, like dialogue and things going on, my high school students particularly, would be annoyed when I stopped it and was describing it. Instead, it was like making sense of what they were watching, which is exactly what you're looking for. They're engaged in what they're seeing, but they need a little more, because we love to hear the actual story, right? I could be making up a bunch of stuff, but I'm explaining what the story is, and so then the Spanish that I'm saying becomes what they're also engaged in to make sense of what they're watching. So as long as it doesn't distract from that.
If you're using an authentic video, like the Colloquium example, like
Yeah.
would you have them go back and then listen to would you keep working with that text, like and have them listen to the song and then do something, like do follow up with
You know what, I've kind of done it all different ways. Sometimes I haven't watched the whole thing and done it as a movie talk. Sometimes I've done part of it as a movie talk. And another part of that too is what is your goal for choosing that particular video? Sometimes I'll choose a video because I really want to talk about giving and receiving, for example, or I want to talk about a certain structure or a certain, basically how to have this type of conversation. And so I found some people having that type of conversation. If I'm just doing it because I want to expose them to some more language and I thought this would be really fun and we could have this great discussion about it, but they were not getting into it, I might cut it off and then go on to something else. But if I were doing that cultural concept, for example, and I wanted to have a discussion about the importance of, or milestones in growing up or family relationships or something like that, then I would, if it were kind of being a little bit of a dud, maybe I would not pause it as much and not get as nitpicky and go more broad. So they're very flexible. You can really adjust them to meet your needs and your students' needs.
We do a blind movie talk in my class about, it's called La Leyenda de Espantapájaros, and it's a short film that was produced in Spain, and it has it's a Spanish speaker narrating the story, but we do a blind movie talk where I describe what's going on and the students draw comics for comprehension before they even know it's a movie, because then it's kind of like a surprise at the end that they get to see it, and they have more context about what the narrator is saying, and they can't pick up every word, but they can pick up the general idea because they've heard it through the blind movie talk so much.
And there's one of the resources that I had was one that I did. I don't know, does anybody do Senior Wooly in your classes? Any of you ever do Senior Wooly? So he does crazy music videos. And I did a blind movie talk, and they had no idea that it was a Senior Wooly video. It was just, there was this guy, he woke up on the street, he had amnesia, and it was, what's going on? And so it was very kind of psychological. I don't think I'd recommend it for below the third year level because it's so abstract.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah, I mean, having amnesia and not knowing who you are or where you are, that's kind of an abstract concept. I would stick to something more concrete for an earlier level of Spanish. But yeah, you can adjust this probably more than about any other thing. I can't imagine something you could use with kindergarten through college and adjust the content appropriately and have it be that engaging. So.
Hey, thanks again. And don't forget to head over